All-Star shot. It's bright in here. Here's Washington, drives inside of Benny Johnson. Good!
Three-point shooting late tonight. I expect him to break loose.
Speaking of breaking away into the clear with the killer crossover.
The crossover, a move based on quickness and fakery, is a lethal weapon used by the game's best ball handlers. Those who master it have been called ankle breakers for their ability to send defenders falling in embarrassment. Dwayne Wade has a deadly crossover. He explains his technique and the players who inspired him.
First of all, the crossover is effective because it gives you space. What I'm doing mostly is I'm coming at a guy and I'm acting like I'm going one direction. So my body is going forward and with a step, but then I'm bringing it back real quick. And once I bring it back, that gives me the second to be able to go into my next move. Well, who inspired me? I mean, I would have to say probably Allen Iverson probably inspired me growing up because, you know, it was a time, it was more legal then to do some of the things he was doing, but it was a time when he came out with the hang crossover.
When he first came to the league, he was doing that crossover, and what happened, the refs were starting to call carry.
I just remember being able to do it all of the time, and then once it got that effective, then that's when it started getting called a lot.
It was cool. He had commercials about it, so he kind of broke it down so you can see the breakdown of how to do the crossover. For a guy to be that small, to use his crossover to get airspace, to get up into his jump shot over bigger defenders. At the time, I was very small, so not only was it cool to do, it also was something I can use in my game. I remember the one that he crossed Michael Jordan over twice. He crossed him over this way and he crossed him over the other way and he hit the jump shot, so that also made it cool for everyone to want to do.
I used to always tell my friends, when I get on that stage, I'm going to try my move on the best. And I never forget the play. I never forget coming off the screen and him switching and Phil Jackson hollering his name, telling him to, switch out on me. And then I gave him the first little one, and I seen that, he was biting on it. And then I hit him with the second one and made the shot. But the craziest thing about it is I hit him with my best move, and he still almost blocked it. That was so crazy about it. That just let you know, how great of a defensive player that he was. I first learned the crossover at Georgetown. I had a teammate, Dean Barry, and man, I had to guard him at practice. He was a walk-on player. He used to hit me with it all the time, every day. And, at some point, my ego, I'm not going to ask this guy how to teach me how to do it. But at some point, I was like, man, the move is so vicious. I got to ask him.
The first time the crossover came was, it came in stages. I think seeing John Stockton, I would drop it. Seeing, Kenny Anderson, I would give it a little shoulder action and change directions. Seeing Tim Hardaway, I realized I need to get a little lower to the ground. Who has a better crossover, Dean Barry or Allen Iverson? Yeah, you ask Allen, he'll probably say him, but the student can never beat the teacher.
I have the best crossover by far, ever, because I put it on that platform, on the biggest stage ever.
Tim Hardaway has the best crossover. AI has the easier one to do, but Tim Hardaway's still to this day is hard, but it was probably the most effective crossover. But you don't see a lot of guys doing it because a lot of guys can't do it. Tim Hardaway used to come at people, 100 miles an hour and change directions 2 ways. He'll go bing, bing, real fast, and that's hard for a lot of people to do. So Tim Hardaway is probably the toughest.
You get beat up, people had their forearms on you, they could hand check you and all that. So for us to get past that, we had to work on our game to get a move to get past people. I saw Pearl Washington one day. And I was like, wow, I want to do that move. I went out there and started practicing the move, and I could do the in and out, but it just didn't feel right to me. I started doing it my way. So I used to come and cross and put it between my legs, then bring it back in front of you and cross you over and have a free lane to the lane.
what I put out there, from all the work that I did to master that move, people see that move and they use it in their arsenal or their game. Allen Iverson was great at it. Hardaway was great at it too also. When I was younger, you know, out in the playgrounds or in the Howard houses where I used to live at, one of the things I seen when I did the crossover, by being low to the ground, it's much easier to do your crossover because it's hard for somebody to try to take the ball from you when you're down low. Well, when I think of Dwayne Wade, I just think of somebody who's just a phenomenal athlete. He's only about 6'4", 6'5". You see a guy who could, you know, cross you over and then step back, shoot a jump shot, or go to the basket and dunk on you. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Most of the new guys coming in, crossovers are effective because of their speed. When you look at Derrick Rose, he'll come at you, he'll do a crossover, and then he will blow by you because he's so athletic, he's so powerful and explosive.
But I'm pretty sure it's going to be some guy that come along that's going to learn it and get it better than I got it, and his is going to be better than mine. Hopefully it's my son.